Hi everybody, welcome to a Minisode of No Story Sacred. If you've never listened before, we're four siblings who grew up talking about the art of storytelling. Now that we're adults, we're still talking about it, and inviting you to join the conversation. I'm Alex.
I'm Kat.
I'm Brendan.
And I'm Pippin.
Today, we're going to talk about the Apple TV show Mythic Quest, which I, personally, haven't seen.
Wait.
Additionally, that's not the full title, guys.
Oh, you're right. That's my mistake. I'm the one who wrote the thing.
You're right.
The Apple TV show Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet.
You gotta have the whole title, guys. We're professionals.
No, they might have dropped the Raven's Banquet for the second season.
Entirely possible.
Who knows?
Also, Al, I appreciate that you knew we were going to talk about this.
You guys knew that I had to quit out of it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, no, I remembered.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah. For those of you unawares, I'm not the best at embarrassment humor, or though this I wouldn't call this embarrassment humor as social situations that will make me feel secondhand embarrassment.
And you, as I recall, you noped out of the first scene because of the main character, Ian Grimm, played by Rob McElhenney.
Wow.
Thank you. You noped out of the first scene because Ian Grimm, the creative director of the MMORG.
Oh, Cat.
Wow.
MMORPG.
The World of Warcraft, not game. I almost called it a video game, guys. I'm really bad.
It is a video game.
It is a video game.
Really? Jesus. Okay, anyway. I didn't know you called it that. I thought that there was like a more complicated term. I thought you had to have...
call it that.
Shut up. Anyway, the point is, the very first scene is an advertisement, like a trailer for the new expansion of this game. Otherwise known as Raven's Banquet is the new expansion. And Ian is very, very creative, clearly has a lot of talent, and is also intensely self-centered. And that comes through. And I believe the fact that he was, standing there shirtless or something was about where you noped out, Alex?
No, it was just after the meeting ended, when David came in, you guys had the meeting without me.
Oh.
It's David's character.
It's David. David is the executive producer. Technically, Ian's boss.
Yeah. So basically, in that little interaction, I was like, oh, there's a person who's completely ignoring the social norms and cues. Here's a person desperately trying to hang on to them. They're not meeting in the middle, but I am feeling every moment of it. I cannot.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Though, you should still watch the episode Dark Quiet Death.
I would say the episodes that don't actually involve David are pretty good that I think you might be able to survive those. Although, would he be able to deal with CW's backstory? See?
I mean, I find CW's backstory to be a little awkward. It's like, oh no.
Alright, okay, so...
Anyway.
This is a mini-sode. We're basically just gonna talk about how great this show is. One of the great things about this is the behind the scenes of, this development team for this game. And you have the creative director, you have the head of monetization, you have the executive producer, you have a random intern who's just wandering around being people.
So great.
You have the testers, and then you have the head of programming? What is Poppy's deal?
Lead programmer.
She's lead programmer.
Is she lead programmer? Okay. And essentially she and, Ian picked her up, out of MIT, the second she graduated.
To code this game.
There's a 20-year difference between them or something, but they are equals. And she is spending a lot of time both realizing that and then also, overdoing it, and so on.
She is a girl boss with all the negative connotations therein.
And the positive ones, but she's also going through a lot of the negative ones right now.
She's a glorious character.
She's amazing. I wouldn't die on the field for Poppy Lee, but I would definitely send her my resume. The other thing is that there is a science fiction author who's writing the story of the world, who is an old washed up SF author of the Old Guard, and he has a Nebula Award.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's just really pleasant to see a Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America Nebula Award being thrown around as much like it's a Hugo.
It was the opening montage of the whole series. They were doing everything, and they mentioned the Nebula Award-winning writer, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's an actual nebula."
And apparently, it is an actual nebula. It's on loan.
Yeah.
It's the one that gets loaned out to shows.
And in their defense, it's a very pretty award. So, one of the things I like about this show, leaving aside that I just like workplace comedies in general, and I refuse to apologize for it, is I am weak to art about art, and art about the combination of art and commerce. 'Cause that's a through line through this whole thing, of the actual price of art, and what do you do, because it's all very well and good to be a starving artist, but you need money to make more art. But in order to make money, sometimes you have to compromise your art. And where is the line?
How many zeros?
I mean, it won't take a lot of zeros to sway me, I'm gonna be honest.
Oh yeah, hugely.
Oh yeah.
But like very early on in the series, there's a question of, are we going to add a casino to the game? That's blatant consumerism.
And the head of monetization is like, obviously we are.
Well, that's an actual issue that's come up with gaming lately.
Mm-hmm.
As when you add gambling to video games, you make gamers into gamblers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And specifically, you're making children into gamblers, which is not good.
That comes up in the second season when they add the Battle Royale feature. That brings a bunch of younger players to the game.
Yeah, it's a constantly discussed about kind of moral issue in gaming right now, is just what does it mean to have these loot boxes and stuff like that in your game? What exactly are we encouraging? Because from a monetization standpoint, hooray, you're making lots of money. But on the negative side, yeah, it's a kid's first gambling experience.
And it feels so good, you guys.
I was listening to a podcast about Mythic Quest from some of the actors, and a couple of the writers, actually.
Plug it now.
It's called Questy Besties, featuring 4 actors and 4 actresses and David, 4 best friends and David.
Nah.
David, who deliberately calls out the very weird power dynamic in the room because he's also all of their bosses. But
I mean, that's just really life, life, art, it's all blending at this point.
The podcast was his idea, but when he pitched it, he was not on it. But then Rob and Megan went, you should be on it. But no, they actually...
the other bosses.
Yeah. But they actually mentioned how they talked to a monetization expert when they were writing the thing.
And yet they couldn't talk to a real publishing company. I'm sorry, what?
Listen, there's only so much. And they mentioned how the monetization people will say, hey, we should add this to the game to make more money. And creative will go, no, we couldn't possibly. And the monetization people will then back off and not bring it up again because they know they don't need to say anything else. They'll come back to them because the money's going to run out.
Yeah.
And they'll need them.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no. Art and commerce might... Yeah, y'all, it gets me.
Art and commerce is a persistent theme, and it also goes into the first of the, not standalone episodes, but sort of experimental episodes where none of the characters that we know are actually in the whole thing. And that's Dark Quiet Death from the first season.
If y'all watch no other episode, watch Dark Quiet Death.
Yeah. It's got... who's in that?
Jake
Johnson.
And, what's her head?
The mom from How I Met Your Mother.
She was also in Black Mirror. She's fantastic.
In Palm Springs.
Yeah, I mean, she's amazing, and she looks like she glows all the time. I don't know how she does it. I think her eyes are just enormous. But yeah, that's entirely what's going on in that one. And it's heartbreaking.
Emilia Tolli.
There you go. And it's heartbreaking. And Mythic Quest so far in the 2 seasons they've done have done these sort of flashbacks? Can you even call it that? Stories in the past that are very indicative of the overall theme.
Yeah, in the 2nd season we do CW, the science fiction writers, a backstory.
Backstory!
How he got into science fiction writing, and how he got where he is, and how Isaac Asimov, was it Asimov?
It was Asimov.
Pretty much wrote his first story.
Such a spoiler. Holy shit.
Oh, you're right. Listen. Whatever.
He makes some compromises, that maybe shouldn't have been made to get where he is.
Yeah, one thing I'll say about this show is that with how I had grad school, done, like I went to, CMU's Entertainment Technology Center, which was a lot of studying up on how like game production and entertainment technology stuff happens. And man, watching the show here, I get flashbacks sometimes of just those long days and even longer nights of just making games and stuff like that happen.
Yeah.
And how, yeah, you run into people who are exactly like I in there. It's like very talented, but my goodness, pretty insufferable in short doses.
Hey Pip, can you tell the story that Rob tells about it?
So, the way Rob McElhenney, the creator of Mythic Quest, tells it, I think it was on Seth Meyers, he was doing an interview. The way he came up with Mythic Quest is actually, Ubisoft, approached him or something, and went, hey, do you want to, do a TV show based on this thing? And he went, I don't know. And they're like, we can bring you to Montreal to take a look at the, studios, see how you feel about it. And he was all like, I mean, I've never been to Montreal. And like any artist, or anyone who grew up poor like he did, you don't look a free trip to Montreal in the mouth. So he went to Montreal, he visited the studio. And he goes in and he sees, this dude dressed all in black and wearing rings, and he's got a cane that he clearly doesn't need. It's an accoutrement. It's decoration. And he's all like, well, I gotta talk to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And goes up to him and introduces himself and he's like, so what do you do? And the guy's all like, I'm the creative director. And Rob's like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know why that is. What do you do? And the guy sits back and takes too long of a pause.
Looking off in the distance.
Looks off towards the fluorescent lights. He goes, brother, I create worlds. And Rob is all like, awesome. Great. Thank you for your time.
One moment. I have to go over here for just a minute.
Goes off, calls, Charlie Day, his, writing partner, co-executive producer, and goes like, Charlie, we have to make a show about this person.
So, pop quiz, hotshot.
Yeah.
What is the name of my first semester class at the ETC?
At the etc.?
The Entertainment Technology Center that I established earlier.
Okay.
Creating worlds?
Building virtual worlds.
Oh god. They made you.
And here's the thing, that was a gauntlet of a class, I can tell you. Like, we had to create 5 different, essentially video games, using a very old game engine, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
But we only had 2 weeks each time to do it, and you had a different team each time.
Teams.
And so you had to adjust very quickly or perish.
Useful skills, honestly.
Oh yeah. No, there's a reason why we are talented at what we do, is that you either adapt or
die.
Burn out. Yeah.
Speaking of burnout, does the show address crunch?
I'm sure they're going to address it eventually.
What do you mean by crunch?
Working like 80, 100-hour work weeks, weeks on end, months on end.
Sort of.
It's sort of implied.
And then,
But-
You know,
at the end of that development cycle, dumping the entire staff.
Ooh, they did not
Half the staff,
mention
yeah.
that.
no, they have not done that.
That is a growing concern within the industry. That's another hot topic. I wouldn't be surprised if they tackle that eventually.
In my head, because it's an MMO and therefore has a constant thing and not like a complete narrative in and of itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, it's World of Warcraft, not Uncharted. They have to keep the whole team going for all of that.
Well, once they
They
build the
could
outfit,
replace everybody.
well, once they build the assets, what use are they then?
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, that makes me feel bad.
Listen, maybe they won't do it because, you know, they don't know because, like, they also didn't look up publishing. So,
Well,
You know.
I think they are doing a lot more video game centric research, and I have the
Yeah.
feeling that their writing research is more based in how Hollywood
it
handles
absolutely
writing.
is.
Yeah.
Even in the what's it called? In the backstory episode for CW, they kept talking about page length of stories.
No.
I'm like, no,
Nope,
wrong
it's words.
answer, fuckos.
It's words.
Although there could be like some misconceptions about like how maybe magazines themselves are laid out as opposed to how literary journals are done.
Well, Pippin also has a feel about this. Hey, Pippin, how did they
So-
treat? Okay,
So, yes, in one of the episodes, CW gets a scary legal letter from his publishers, claiming that he's in breach of contract, because he
entirely
hasn't.
possible.
Yeah, I mean, he is. Because he hasn't handed in his, last novel in his trilogy, which was due back in, like, the 80s. And because of this, they are going to take the copyright of the characters of the whole work. And I'm like, no, that's not how this works.
That's not how any of this works.
In traditional publishing, you keep your copyright. The publisher just bought the right to publish it.
Essentially, they're licensing it?
Licensing, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now if he was working for a shitty publisher, sometimes
Yeah.
shitty, and if he signed a shitty contract, but in backstory, we established that he worked for, apparently, a very good magazine. So theoretically, he would have a clue about how contracts work.
Now,
Yes.
to be fair, if he didn't have a good agent at the time, which kids, get yourself a good agent, then the contract is more skewed in the publisher's favor.
Oh yeah. Never
yeah.
accept the first contract.
Yeah.
It's boilerplate and written in their favor.
Make sure you get first refusal rights.
First refusal, you keep the movie and television rights.
Audio.
Digital, both known and currently
And,
unknown.
oh yeah. You all future-proof your
unknown.
shit. Yeah.
If you see any in perpetuity in that contract, you run.
Yeah, fuck that.
Reversion rights, keep those.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he
with
yes.
defined, don't forget to also get something about getting regular reporting of your royalties and sales, and define what regular is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And an
Hashtag.
agent will help you do this.
Hashtag
Yep.
Disney must pay.
Hashtag Disney
must pay.
But yeah, and so that entire episode, I'm like, where the fuck is your agent? Also, the worst the publisher can do to you at this point is make you return your advance, and at this point, they're not going to bother.
And it's
No.
also 1980s money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good back then, nothing now.
Yeah.
Which is why these contracts have to get renegotiated all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that whole episode deeply upset me because it was so wrong.
Ah,
On the other hand, again with CW, when we get the episode where we hear more about his publishing history, or about his friend's publishing history, we discovered, I don't know if we told the boys this, but we discovered that one of our editing friends, somebody we all know, by implication of the history that was told in Mythic Quest, was present and was probably the acquiring editor for XYZ character on this show. And subsequently then did not publish, or decided not to publish, another work And so he is an implied character who has greatly affected the narrative of the universe there. So anyway, yeah, the long and the short of it is that a friend of ours and I cannot wait to tell him.
Yeah, we haven't told him yet.
By implication. It's the implication.
The implications.
Oh my god.
You know what's great about Mythic Quest? Is I can tell people I like it without having to explain.
Yeah. You don't have to have the It's Always Sunny and the Rick and Morty conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something weird about dating, you guys. I don't know how many of you are into that at the moment, but let me tell you, yes, I like Rick and Morty, but if I find somebody on a dating site that says they like Rick and Morty, that's a red flag.
Run.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the shit? It's like one of those delicate conversations you have to have later. Like instead of figuring out whether or not the other person's also gay or something like that, you're trying to figure out whether or not, is it okay that I like to watch? Do you?
Are you a toxic fan?
Yeah,
Okay, do you like Rick and Morty? Yes. Do you like Rick? Oh, no. Okay. Okay. Wait. As a person or as a character? I like him as a character, but not as a person?
Okay,
I
we're
really
good.
admire Rick. Fuck. Run!
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like McDonald's Szechuan sauce?
Oh god.
Ugh.
Not worth it.
Whereas with Mythic Quest, the episode that we're talking about here,
Oh yeah.
What?
it's like, yeah, I went to grad school with people like that. Yep.
Side note, David, is his real name Hornsby? Or is
It
that
is.
the character?
Nope. It's Brittlesby's the character. Hornsby's his name.
Yeah.
Because they're
David-
shit at names, remember?
Yeah. He originally wasn't supposed to be in it, and then he saw the script with the character named David, and he was like, oh, I see what Rob did.
I think he's the greatest actor on that show, because he plays both, David Hornsby, the shy and socially malaprop, executive producer, on this show, and then also, Rickety Cricket on, who is a continual meth, I can't even describe it, from It's Always Sunny. Polar
Rickety
opposite.
Cricket.
Yeah. Polar opposite.
Well, here's the thing. He did go to, Carnegie Mellon's acting school.
Yep, CMU. Woo.
But yeah, Mythic Quest is a really, really great show. Everyone should watch it. They're about to finish their second season.
I would say
as of this recording.
Yeah. I would say that if you're interested in the dynamic of the cost of art, what it costs you as a person, what it costs you in terms of, and I don't mean I must be drunk in an attic somewhere, and also my wife left me. Not like that, but the real stuff, sometimes you have to sell out. That's what that means. What? Do you want a job tomorrow? Okay.
Part of making art is selling it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not art if you keep it to yourself.
Never ever believe the people online that are like, oh, you're doing it for the love of the art. And it's like, nah, artists gotta eat.
I mean, Emily Dickinson put all her shit in a drawer. And you know what, though? Good for her. Maybe that's what she wanted to do with it. That being said, those of us who want to make a living at this need to get paid. And the corollary to getting paid is that you have to sell something.
Yeah.
So incidentally, check out our Patreon page. Guys, we need to update the Patreon page. Oh god,
Fuck.
What do they do?
Also, you should watch Mythic Quest just if you like workplace comedies.
Yeah, it's a great workplace comedy.
Which we're lacking at the moment.
Yeah.
I think, right?
I don't think there's a good one out. Oh, there's Ted Lasso,
Oh, yeah.
which is a
I need to watch
sports
Ted
work.
Lasso.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
I hate that it's good.
Yeah, so do I. I hate that it's good. I hate that he has a southern accent, and I didn't realize that he did, and then I still watched it, and it was great. I fucking hate it.
Ugh. I hate when the hype is right.
It's so right. It's so distressingly right.
God damn it. What was I going to say next? It was going to be really clever.
You're really clever?
I am really clever.
You are really.
Oh, slightly off topic. Shout out to the intern character, whose part was literally written for that actress.
Yeah, she showed up, and they're like, she's amazing. We have to, okay, we're just gonna have to do something.
Because she kept auditioning for all these parts, and she wasn't quite right for any of them. But they knew they needed that actress.
Huh.
And what's great is that she does a lot of work on her backstory, like the character's backstory. And she's apparently learned a very important lesson about then, sometimes it's great to have a backstory to figure out your character and how you approach it, but you don't need to tell the writers it. You don't. Because apparently, sometimes it can freak them out. Right, Rob?
One of the first things she did to Rob McElhenney was sass him in the audition room.
No, really?
They were doing a chemistry read, and they were waiting forever, and she was like cranky that day. And when they finally got in, she was with, the actress who plays Poppy and, Ashley Birch who plays Rachel.
Okay.
They were doing a chemistry.
So one of the testers and the programmer. Yeah.
And they were doing a chemistry read, and I think she knew she wasn't going to get it.
Oh.
But they were going through and shaking the hands of everyone in the room. And she was just like, is this why we've been waiting so long? You have to shake the hands of everyone who comes in.
Oh my god.
And apparently Rob's eyes just started sparkling.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway, we've been going at this a while. I think, do we have any final thoughts?
Watch Mythic Quest so you can talk to me about it.
Oh yeah, this fandom is baby as shit. It is ripe for, particularly old hands in fandom to come in and, they had a sex dream episode, and there's not one single sex dream fanfic. There's a canonical sex dream show.
It got brought up again.
Yeah. It's been brought up multiple times, and the fandom is so baby, and I'm glad that people have found fandom because of it, but we need more quality, and that's why I want people to watch it.
No,
for my entertainment.
Yeah. I'm just going to say that I was amused when you first found it, and Brendan and I just started telling you random things that go on in the game industry. And and you guys just put down that as a fanfic idea.
Oh, yeah. Hey, how long's the list now?
Oh, I think it's on its 5th page.
We've really slowed down because I had to do a thing called writing my actual book.
Well, I did add a new idea the other day.
Nice. Yeah, the writing my own actual paying work is really slowing down my fanfiction production.
Shame.
Bumming me out.
These are the prices that you have to pay for or producing art.
This is the price of art, you guys.
Oh, my most recent idea was Rachel's first Worldcon.
Oh my god, adorable. Oh my god, because she's gonna be an author. Okay, yeah, I'm feeling it.
Also, boys, I want you to know that Kat mixed up GGL and GDC.
I still don't know what those mean. I don't know what those mean. Still don't know what those mean.
I've sent you videos.
I just want you to know.
I mean, we already had MMORPGs messed up earlier.
And apparently it actually is a video game.
What's great about the video game thing is they do call it that.
Listen. That's all I've got.
So the important thing to learn from that is that you don't actually have to know or even like video games to like the show.
I don't like video games, but it's a great show.
And if you do like video games, you'll probably get more of the jokes.
Yeah. And if you know game dev, you'll know even more of the jokes.
Yeah.
So if you don't know game dev, but you think you do, you'll probably not get at the jokes, but think that they did it wrong.
Yeah. You'll get angry and be like, that's not how it's done.
Oh my god, somebody actually did that. Like, that's not actually how that's done. I think actually I saw one of those and I asked Brendan about it. I'm like, Bren, hey, wait, this guy says it's this. And you're like, nah.
Nah, we've done it like that. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, another final thought. Mythic Quest has a great quarantine episode.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, it's actually uplifting and you want to watch it more than once. Which is so unusual for a quarantine thing.
Aww.
But yeah, any other final thoughts?
I'm good.
Because this minisode is rapidly becoming unmini.
What?
Well, I don't think we have anything else left to cover. Go watch it.
Yeah. Then come talk to me about it.
Not just her, me too.
And,
Not just me.
yeah, and other segues into the outro.
Oh fuck, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Also, shout out to Alex for coming to this minisode anyway, even though he didn't watch it.
And
you could have skipped. None of us would have judged you.
I would have.
I wouldn't have, and that's why I'm your favorite.
You can't know that. Don't correct me, Alex. And on that note, as always, if you have a story to submit, head on over to nostoryissacred.com/submission. Follow us on Twitter at nostoryissacred or send an email through contact@nostoryiссacred.com. Your hosts have been Brendan McDonald, Pippin McDonald, Alex McDonald, and Catherine Creighton. Editing for this episode done by Brendan. Transcript done by Ashley DaCosta. Art by Jay Wolf. Show notes and transcript are available at nostoryiссacred.com. Thanks for listening, everyone, and please rate, review, and subscribe to No Story is Sacred. You can also visit our Patreon page, theoretically, to support the show and get neat rewards at patreon.com/nostoryissacred, and we will definitely update it. Until next time, we're No Story is Sacred, and any story can be changed. I'm Kat.
I'm Brendan.
I'm Pippin.
And I'm Alex.
And we're
No Story is
Sacred.